Welcome back to another episode of How Did They Grow? I created this podcast because I wanted you to learn how other coaches, freelancers, service providers, and course sellers are growing their business, landing 10 to 20 new clients every single month, paying them 50, 100, 200K months. See, if they've done it, you can too. And that's just the reality. And I want you to listen to these podcasts to understand what strategies are they using, what techniques are they exploring, because it's in these gems that you can apply it to your business and actually scale things up. When you're ready and you feel like you actually want to learn practical, proven methodologies, or even you want to hire a team that can build you a profitable personal brand, book in a chat with our team because we can guarantee you go viral and guarantee you get clients for your business.
All right. Thank you so much, Andy, for coming on this podcast. I'm so grateful to have you here. So for our listeners, for our viewers, can you give us a quick kind of rundown of your journey, your story, and how you got to where you are today?
Absolutely. And yes, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks so much for having me. So I would say my story is a bit twofold. I've been into music for the longest time. I started out about 10 years ago. It was my pathway out of a corporate job, actually doing a 9 to 5. I was back in Texas and I was, it was a live music capital of the world in Austin. And I was just like seeing so many people playing music, and I had just started kind of dabbling into music production a little bit before I moved there. And I wanted a means to start playing shows and doing that whole thing. And so a friend of mine connected me to someone right before the big festival, South by Southwest. And I got my first opportunity to play there. And I loved it. The story actually goes that someone asked me to DJ that event before I actually knew how to DJ. So I had a week to train myself how to do that. It was kind of a fake it till you make it sort of thing. But to me, I think one of the most valuable lessons I've learned is failing forward, just taking opportunities, jumping at them, not being afraid to jump into the deep end of the ocean, just to get a start. And so I was hungry and motivated, and so I learned, and then that just took me on a long, fun ride over the next 5 years of playing a lot of different shows, doing residencies, eventually getting out of my corporate sales job, but definitely using a lot of my sales experience to run events, to interact with venue managers, to book other artists, all while creating and solidifying my own artistry. So that pretty much took me right into the pandemic, which is when, live events died. There were not many things happening. I would say Austin was a unique place in that the weather, well, first off, the weather was amazing. People wanted to still go outside. It's a very, very social place if you haven't been. And people were like, okay, I know there's a pandemic happening, but I need to talk to people. I want to hang out. And so people were doing a lot of outdoor events. And I just felt like the energy of the world was telling me to sort of take a break from music and trying to throw events. But obviously, I still wanted to make money and support myself, and realize that we're in such a unique period of time. And this also could be viewed as, another renaissance to come. So I was exploring different ways of making income online, and all while receiving stimulus checks and this kind of stuff. And like many other people, I started putting some money into the stock market, started learning a lot about it, was really intrigued by it. And so just got flooded with all these alert services and companies on YouTube and teaching day trading, swing trading, option trading, all of this. One thing led to the next. And my first year of trading, I made close to 6 figures. I was amazing. I was riding a big high from that. Then my second year, I lost a lot of money. And then for like a few months after that, the beginning of, I want to say it was 2022, I lost everything and then more. And then I was like, okay, I'm relying way ttoo much on other people's information. I'm just really, constantly, I was just really fed up with everything. I was, at one point I was relying on my savings. I still was like not really into DJing as much, doing like some events here and there, but I was just like, I had a hole inside of me, and it was really, really challenging me, which eventually led me to investing into some coaching. And getting a trading mentor, someone who really actually worked with me on my psychology and my emotions and being able to confront that. And so I left that program with, I was like, okay, I feel like I have the mindset that if I want to continue trading, I will be successful. I know what I need to do, but I needed to figure out a method. I needed to find something that worked with my own human psychology that could allow me to trade. And so I spent another 3 to 6 months learning different strategies, figuring out what worked well for me. And eventually I found something that I back tested and I found had an 80% win rate, gave me a risk to reward of, on many trades, over a 2-to-1, which is really, really good. Sometimes 3-to-1, but usually no less than like a 1.5-to-1. So I really like that because it truly was like low risk, high reward. And I was able to look at specific times of the day in the market to utilize this strategy to make me profitable. And it took me a while to just like really have the confidence to only trade this strategy when there's so much other, excitement and types of trades, and like, people posting about like this Tesla option going, 5,000%. But I realized I was like, I need to just have the discipline to be able to only trade a strategy if I'm going to be successful. And that was one thing my mentor told me. He's like, you have to be really mechanical about this. And so I was able to just continuously do the exact same thing every single day I traded. And I was able to grow my account 1 to 3% daily, and eventually put all of those losses behind me, and now become a very, very profitable trader. And I realized that this was really powerful stuff, because the stuff that I learned from my mentor, I could combine with actual knowledge and actual data to back it up. And that led me to connecting with some Discord communities and offering some free training for individuals who wanted to learn my method. And then at the end of that, I put together an hour-long webinar, and I was able to start receiving some clients from that, people who wanted to invest into their trading education. And so I put together a coaching program over 10 sessions, and that kind of started more of that high ticket program. And now today I have both a low ticket program as well that's more entry level, where it writes out the entire guideline, which I created, the Consistent Profits Blueprint, so that we can support traders worldwide and we can show them really actionable ways to be able to learn the tools to become consistent, confident, and profitable in the market. There's no smoke and mirrors, no bells and whistles. Like, we're not over promising that they're going to make crazy amounts of money, because to be honest, I don't know how much people are going to be starting with. But what I can share with them is, based on what you put in, these are the percentages that you could anticipate if you're following all of the steps. And so we work getting our students to be able to trade this method with an 80% win rate and growing their 1 to 3% daily.
Wow. That's incredible. I want to know this method.
Got you.
I want to ask you this. You mentioned trading a lot, but I don't think we cover this. Is this stock trading, forex trading, or big or?
So this is stock trading. Yeah, this is trading. Primarily, we focus on momentum, small caps. One of the criteria that we look for is that the stock has to have had news, there has to be a catalyst, or it has to be a theme in the market.
Love it. There has to be a theme in the market. What's what's an example of a theme in the market?
So a perfect example, literally today, there was NVIDIA's CEO announced that they're having a quantum day in March. And so all of these quantum computing stocks are moving a lot right now. And so I traded some of those today. So when you see, even like an example, we look at the top gainers in the market and we try to analyze, like, is there a specific theme? And we can see like the top 20 stocks, 5 of them just have quantum in the name alone. So I was like, okay, there's a quantum theme going on. Now I'm going to search the internet and see, like, why is this a theme? Is it just a random pump, or is there a reason why? And when, NVIDIA is talking about these kind of things, that's going to be, really explosive, because speculation creates opportunity.
Makes sense. So how long do you spend trading every day then?
My goal is an hour or less per day.
Wow. So, and that's what you teach as well then?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want people to have to spend more time than they need to. Obviously, in the beginning, if you're completely new to trading, there's going to be other mechanics that you need to learn first. But when it comes to actually applying the method, it's meant to be short and sweet so that you can move on to the rest of your day and do other things that you care about. I find that the more time one spends trading, myself obviously included, the more easy it is to also lose money.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this as well. Yeah, because your mind starts to work against you, and yeah, I've heard about this. Okay, great. Let's talk about the actual teaching. So, have you found any massive case studies or massive successes from any of your students over?
I hope you're enjoying this podcast. I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're learning so much practical wisdom, because that's what I really wanted from this podcast. Now, I just want to quickly say, if you're looking for a team that can actually help you explode and go viral with your personal brand with proven methodologies, I say this because I've been doing this for the past 5 years. We've got a team of 30 people who are ready to go ahead and explode your brand so you can get clients begging to work with you. Have a chat with one of our advisors. You can book in a chat using one of the links around this video, because that chat might just change your life.
Yeah. I mean, I found one of my students currently actually was barely making it by. He's been homeless before, and he was hoping to work with me so that he could start paying off an apartment. And so we've been working together and getting him to a point of profitability so that he now, just his trading profits alone cover the apartment, cover his utilities, cover all of this kind of stuff, and then he has money coming in from another job that he has to cover everything else. So he's even thinking about moving into an even bigger, nicer apartment. So that's been a massive win, just to see like someone who's literally come from nothing to something. I think is like it's part of the hero's journey for some. Yeah. So that's been exciting. Other people who were fed up with day trading and losing tons of money, couldn't figure out a strategy, were like about to quit on the market entirely. We're losing money from all these alert services. I was like, hey, if I work with you and you don't find success, go ahead and quit. But if I work with you and you find that trying something that has been proven, that we've tested, then I'm going to also make sure you test, so you not only are just getting the formula, but knowing how to use it. Like, then let's give it another shot. Sure enough, many of my students have done that. We're literally on the brink of just like giving up to now being profitable traders, doing really nicely for their accounts, for their families. One of them just was able to pay off of a wedding ring with trading profits using the method in like a week. So really, really cool stuff we've got.
Wow. That must feel so fulfilling at the same time.
100%. Yeah. Like I love seeing how people turn around and become like find confidence, find consistency through trading. Like for me, one of the things I love about it more than the money aspect itself is how much it teaches me about my own psychology. The journey that I've gone through of trading so many different styles and methods, all to arrive at like one simple thing that I do. If I can just do that every single day, I can win. So the power of simplicity has become paramount. If things are really complex, all I try to do is make them be more simple. And trading taught me that better than anything else.
I love that. Do you think that's a lesson that everyone needs to learn, or do you think that just makes sense for your life?
I think it's a lesson everyone needs to learn. I think we human beings are, when our psychology is working against us, we are overcomplicating things. We're turning everyday situations into bigger problems than they need to be. We're overanalyzing, we're psychoanalyzing. The more that we can just like take a step back, take a breath, simplify things, observe where can we make things feel more easy and stack up smaller wins, that's a kind of compounding effect that can make you just like have so much drive and energy to like look at the world, look at your own life differently, and make a massive changes quickly.
Amazing. I love that. I want to talk about that first kind of batch of students that you got, essentially. You mentioned a masterclass. So run, for all the listeners, the viewers, I want them to kind of go through this journey. So run us through the journey of You decided you wanted to start coaching and teaching this to other people. How did you go about from that very decision to then seeing your first payment come through? What was that?
Totally. So I think first what helped me was just developing trust with an existing audience. And so even though the things I talk about now are very much about how I think people should avoid investing into these alert services and expecting these quick returns, because it's easy to gain trust if, someone posts a stock and it goes up and you're like, okay, I'm just going to follow that person. And then the next time they lose money with that person, you realize how fickle it is, and that a lot of people are actually not trading with a strategy, or maybe their ability to take on losses is higher than someone else's. And so I just saw that there was an opportunity to create more transparency. And so I connected with a Discord community, kind of like the style that they were going, because they told me like, we're really about educating and coaching. I found out later there's definitely a lot of alerts and people that are calling shots in there. And I was like, I want to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to try to post as much in the education channel as I can. And so I started creating free YouTube videos that I was like, okay, I want to build my own audience this way. And I also want to share inside of this community, so they can see more of the whys behind the whats as I'm sharing my method. The other thing I did much differently than everyone else was that I would actually post the stocks that I was not only watching, but like the entries that I was planning before the stock actually hit that mark. Most people, I would say 90% plus of traders are posting their entries and then they're calling it in the room.
Yeah.
Because my strategy is all based on these zones that I draw. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be buying the stock when it goes here. This will be my stop loss. This is going to be my take profit. And so I was allowing people to get sometimes better entries than me by sharing that kind of information ahead of time. And so people were like, wow, he's different than most of the stuff that we're seeing. And we really kind of, it just develops more trust in that way, especially when people would also see that the stocks that I was picking ahead of time would then hit those zones. And then, 4 out of every 5 times at least was going and hitting the take profit level. So then after that, I was like, okay, I've been doing this for a couple of months. I want to connect with more people. Like, I'm very much a, person who likes to like talk to people, whether it's like on calls like this or in person. And some aspects, trading can be a very lonely sport, just sitting behind a computer, taking trades and not having a community to do it with. And I think that's why, especially during pandemic, when trading got really popular, were all these Discord channels emerging. And I was like, I want to share, in a live class with people where they can ask questions, where they can interact with me, where we can have what feels like a conversation, where I'm teaching them and training them and showing them the ins and outs of this method. And we were able to get about 40 people to that call with no paid advertising, anything like that. I also worked with the leader of one of the Discord communities I was in. They also helped promote it, put it out on their social media. They've got a Twitter account or an X account that's got like 10,000 followers. So that helped too. And it brought a lot of people to the call. And then I was very transparent with pretty much my entire method. And then I laid out like, hey, if you'd like to work even further with me, I do have a coaching program where, like, yes, I know you're going to want to get right into the method of coaching, but the method of trading, but also I need to do an assessment of where you are psychologically, mentally, emotionally, to see if there are other things that are potentially holding you back. Like, do you have potentially beliefs about your own ability to bring on a lot of wealth and abundance into your life that we want to take a look at? So I looked at it as like a very holistic way of getting to know someone, connecting with them, developing rapport, trust. And then hopefully, I was kind of like looking at the end, like what do I want someone to look like after working with me through this program. Like I want someone, like obviously I want them to be an amazing trader, to be profitable, but I want them to be just really good at life, really good at the things that maybe they're not good at, that they could be better at. So I started, one of the things I work with people on is like, do you have a schedule of your day, of when you're going to be trading, of what your habits look like? Are you spending enough time outside, bringing in sunlight? Do you have a meditation practice? Do you have, like what are your views of yourself, especially the days that you lose money? Because I think those are the days that like are the most teaching and humbling moments. And it's like, if you still have the ability to look at yourself in a mirror after you've taken on losses, tell yourself like, I love me. I'm going to go through this. These are the moments that like really grow the hair on the chest. I guess if you're a man, if you're a woman, some other term, and really just like build our character. Like that's the kind of human that I want to emerge from working with me if they don't already have that. So we've really like sharpened a lot of individuals. It's been amazing to see the journey that people are going through. And then I still have, I have a Facebook community for individuals that have either become alumni of the program or are just starting out or have gotten the Consistent Profits Blueprint. And as a way to make it more communal, where we also offer some live mastermind sessions and live trading sessions as well to explore further and to just, continue that momentum.
I love that. That's incredible. And where are you now with the business? Like, how are you now getting your clients, your students? Like, what's the main acquisition channels that are working for you?
Totally. Yeah. So I'm in the process of putting together another webinar masterclass that will be another means to, acquire more students. That's going to come after I start having paid traffic for the low ticket Consistent Profits Blueprint that is available for people, that also outlines the entire strategy. So that's also going to be, a means for people if they want to explore the coaching and need more of the things we chatted about before to improve themselves, to do the work, to not only become an amazing trader, but, an even better version of themselves. That'll be one area. And then, even some of the other channels that have been working well, I'm a frequent poster on Reddit. I connect with people on Discord. Definitely I have a referral, affiliate fee as well for anyone that brings clients to me. And so far that's been going pretty well as well. I would say referrals have been, the number one thing for me, because I think especially in trading and then trading education, there's definitely a lot of, I would say, mistrust. There's been, especially in the earlier 2020s, we saw a lot of, these pump and dumps that were artificially created from these, big promoters on social media. And I don't affiliate with those individuals. I don't promote any stocks. For me, it's all about like, what's the flavor of the day? What are the stocks that have positive news, that have a catalyst, that are part of a theme, and showing people how they can learn how to fish on their own. And I think by just having that level of trust, by being a man of my word and my action, that's been able to show people like, hey, this, he's built different. He's trying to do things the right way. And so far it's been working well for our team.
Incredible. You mentioned paid ads, you mentioned referrals. What about organic? Have you seen any success with organic?
I would say I've gotten some intrigue, some comments on YouTube videos and Instagram. Someone that bought my Consistent Profits Blueprint the other day just watched one of my stories about that. So it helps here and there. I think there's definitely, even more. I think just having even more posts about it, or different types of posts. I do some series. I have a series going on right now that we're going to do, like, it's a 10-part series. We're in video 7, like things beginner traders should know. And so that's been really helpful, building engagement that way. Yeah. So it works here and there.
Great. That brings me on to the next question. So what's the plan for 2025? I'm assuming you want to increase the organic traffic, increase ad spend, etc. Like you want to increase your marketing efforts.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going full throttle with the launch of the Consistent Profits Blueprint. We've got the landing page ready, where we've got an ad strategy that we're going to be moving forward with, just to really bring more people into the door. There's going to be more webinars, likely quarterly ones as well, and then more like live trading sessions and things like that. There's really like I would say the largest trading community that I know of is just all of the individuals that post a lot on X, which is still kind of dubbed FinTwit. There's amazing humans on there, like really, really cool connections. I actually like randomly met, I'm based in Tulum right now, and I met this guy at a party who I found out like we used to be in the same trading group together.
No way.
Party vibing, and somehow just for like, oh my God, I know who you are online. I know who you are. So doing more connection with other people that are doing things online. I would say I post here and there on X, but being even more active there, and just trying to spread the message even more as much as I can, so that it can really empower our traders to just take care of themselves, their families, their finances, truly their freedom.
Sweet. And obviously you want to grow the business, etc. Just for our listeners and viewers to understand a bit more of your mind, where do you envision potential challenges, and how do you plan on overcoming those as you go into 2025?
Totally. Yeah. I think for me, one of the challenges, because I didn't really cover with you earlier that I have a whole music business that's growing as well. That's that can be both a challenge and also like for me it's a fun challenge. I think like trading and music stuff I've got is very like left brain versus right brain, so it keeps me constantly engaged, and have fun with it. And so I think it's like, okay, when I spend time growing my music mastermind for DJs and music producers, that's time that I take away from the trading business. And when I focus on trading, it's time away from the other one. So there are at least there's through lines, in the sense that I have some students in my music program I work with who want to become full-time musicians and DJs and producers. And sometimes the funding piece of that can be supplemented by trading. So I've had some crossover with some artists I work with learn how to trade. Because I'm like, you can do a lot more with less. You learn this, that can be, that next piece of music gear that you want to get for your live set, or that next DJ mixer, or drone for your music videos. So like sometimes I like to view, how can a challenge become an opportunity?
I love that. That leads me on to my final question. What's one thing that you feel everyone needs to hear? I mean, you've shared quite a few gems already, but I'm curious to know, like, what's one thing that you want all of the listeners, all the viewers to just know as a lifelong lesson so far that you've learned?
Never be afraid to bank on yourself. Know that like you have to be the main character of your own arc if you want the most out of life. If you want to truly get all of the juice out of the fruit, then you've got to be the one to squeeze it. So just always, like, if you feel that calling inside of you to do that, you're born for more, that you have something really big to share with this world, just go ahead and do it.
I love that. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Andy. I really appreciate you for taking the time out and sharing all of this with us.
Absolutely.
And how can anyone get in touch?
How can everyone get in touch? That was a question. Awesome. Yeah. So for the trading platform, you can find us on Instagram at Trading in the Groove. You can also visit our website, www.consistentprofitsblueprint.com. And then for anything music related, you can connect with my music page at The Groovologist. We also have a website, thegroovologist.com. And yeah, I would say those are the main ways to reach out. I would love to hear from you if you're interested in pursuing a journey in music production, DJing, or trading stocks.
Amazing. We'll try and get those links also put down below as well.
Totally.
Sweet. Thank you so much, Andy.
Thanks so much, Akash. It's been a pleasure.
I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. I want you to go away and execute everything there is that you've learned. Now, one thing I will say is if you're in a position where you're ready to actually take things to another level, you want structured, clear guidance, you want a team that can actually help accelerate you, book in a chat with our advisors. Why? We can blow up your personal brand to attract clients begging to work with you. All you got to do is book in a chat with our advisors and we can help make it happen. Sound fair enough?